Hello and welcome to more World War II 172 scale. And today we're going to look at my Hetzer collection. That's a German tank hunter, late war, from 1944 to 45. It was based on the 38T tank chassis, very sloped, and it has a 75 millimeter gun without a muzzle brake on it, and then there's one that's a little special that has a flame gun on it. First we'll look at these right here. This is an Eschi kit. It was never completed, just painted gray. Eschi became Italeri. Here's two of them also, painted very similar to be in the same unit. This is the flame one. This, I believe, is an kit. If you look at this, you can see the gun looks funny because it had a dummy gun on it that the crew would take off, and then there's just a little flame projector in those. This was a very late war. They had made about 20 of those. They used these in the companion battle to Battle of the Bulge, Operation Nordwind, which was fought in Alsace in France, a little bit south of where the Battle of the Bulge happened, and that was in January of 1945. As you can see, it's got the basic 3-color camouflage on it. It's one of the earlier kits I did, and a lot of track work that you had to put around and do around the drive sprockets and the idlers. Not easy. You can see from the bottom, you can see that. So that's kind of cool. And the other ones are pre-built, and they're mainly die-cast. These two are Forces of Valor, and then they also have the other name is Unimax, and then Forces of Valor is that. They also make other things in different scales. See, can we read the year on that? 2011. And what was nice about these die-cast, they're heavy too, they always included a commander figure, and then they put a wire in there to simulate the antenna. 2011 also. So they usually did at least one and then sometimes 2 to 3 different paint jobs in several different releases. This one's kind of cool because they left it and basic primer gun metal on there. And then this one has the Rumdumfitter, or the automatic machine gun that they had on the Hetzer, where they could control it from the inside, so they didn't have to be outside to use it for defense, where they didn't have to get shot at. This is an Altair. This one might be my favorite. That one is too. There were a lot of them are pretty cool. That one's the dot pattern, but I think this one looks a little better. And you can see, even though these are all 172, there's always a little bit differences in the scales of what they do. This is Altair brand. So it's very cool. It's the late war 3-color, and it's got the Fleck pattern on there, or ambush. This one is also this might be Panzerstahl. These two might be Panzerstahl. That's another brand that makes pre-made die-cast. These are always expensive. They run around $30 or more, and then when they're out of circulation, when they get older and they get more harder to get, the prices can go up on them. This one's cool. And this one you can see, I'm forgetting, see the regular gun mantlet, how that's shaped? And this one is totally different. This is either a very early one or a very late one. I forget which. And then you can see these have the machine gun on it too. Very cool. And then this one is basically plastic, not too much on there. And this is Altair brand, but they somehow, when they made these, China would get a hold of them and put them out in kind of a generic brand. But they did this one in actually a pretty nice color paint job. And I believe, you look closely on it, I believe I put a wash, a dirt wash, a brown wash on it to try to dull it down, because sometimes these are too bright a looking plastic. But otherwise, it's pretty good and it looks good. So these are very cool Hetzers. There's some controversy about Hetzer, that the Germans never used that name for them, that came about after the war. It's supposed to be a German name that something means like baiter or to provoke or something like that. Very cool. This had thin armor, but it's very sloped. So at the front, it had some decent protection. But even at the slope on the side, Sherman 75 millimeters and the T-34s can penetrate them in regular range, so they want to be ambushed. But they were very good because they're very low. You can see it's barely in scale with a soldier. It's about only a little over 6 feet tall, so very low silhouette, can hide and do its function for ambushing tanks. Very cool. Always liked them, and they're so small too. They're nice. Somehow it reminds me of a turtle. I have a pet turtle. Alrighty, that's a look at a collection again of German tank hunters, or Jagdpanzers, hunting tanks. No, they're turretless, just has the gun, so they have to pivot. They only have very limited traverse in the gun to fire on. Very cool. Until next time, thanks for liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. And as you can see in the background, I just did a video on these, so that should come out before this one, of the town buildings that I made. Until next time, thank you.